Alright guys, we are starting KC8, all about circles. And one thing you'll notice in your notes, in your activities, and in your sticker sheet, this unit is out of order. We are going to do B and C first, and then A and D. So we are starting with target 8B and starting on 8B.1. Okay, so don't get confused that things are out of order here. So when we're looking at target 8B, we're identifying and describing relationships among central angles, inscribed angles, radii, and chords. Okay. So 8B.1 is I can identify all the parts of a circle by applying the definitions. This is going to be a somewhat longer video because it is a lot of definitions. Okay, a lot of vocab. So we're going to start with what is a circle. So a circle is the set of all points I keep doing that. The set of all points equidistant from a central point. So this is just a technical math definition. I hope we all know what a circle looks like. Right? So this is just the math definition of that shape. And then we have the center. And the center of a circle is the point in the middle. The point in the middle. That is used to name the circle. For example, this is circle P. Okay, so you draw a circle with the little center point, and then whatever letter is in the middle of that circle, that's the name of that circle. So this is circle P. Alright, the next thing we're going to look at is the radius, the diameter, and what a chord is. Before we do that, I'm going to put points on my circle. I'm going to put, in the middle, I'm going to put point P, and then around the outside, I'm also going to put anywhere it touches, one of the lines touches, C, there should be a D, and E. Okay? Just so that we can go over how to name these things as well. So what is the radius of a circle? The radius is the distance, right? We've looked at radii before. Ew. I think that has... The distance from the center of a circle, from the center, to a point on the circle. Okay? And what I mean about on the circle is this is the only place where the circle is. Okay? You can be on the circle, inside the circle, or outside the circle. Okay, so word amount on the circle is on the actual line or curve that makes up that circle. Okay? So here, right, if I go from the center out, the one radius that we have to find here is here. And we name a radius using 2 points. Okay. So for example, I can name this AP, right? And a radius is a line, so I just put a line over AP. Or I can name it PA, okay, going the other way. So AP or PA, those are both the same radius. right, then we have the diameter. And the diameter is the distance across the circle through the center. Okay, so again, we've also talked a lot about diameters. They have to go through the center of the circle. So here's our diameter. And it's also going to be, we also name it using 2 points. Okay, just like any other line. So for example, I can name this, I can go E to B, put a line over it, or, right, I could go this way, or I could go this way. So I can also name that BE. All right, the last part of the circle we're looking at in this section is the chord. So a chord is a line or a distance connecting any 2 points on a circle. So technically, right, so a line connecting any 2 points on a circle. So technically, the diameter is a chord. It's just a very specific chord. But if I don't go through the center, so like this line goes through my circle, it just doesn't go through the center, we call it a chord. And we also name using 2 points. So I have, I can name it DC, right, going this way, or again, I can go the opposite way and name it CD. Right, so those are some of the things that we're going to look at in this target. So now we're going to look at some examples of naming them in this circle. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is name the circle. So again, remember, we name the circle by using the middle of it. So at the middle of this circle is P. So again, I make the circle mark and P. So this is circle. I don't know why I put it under radii. Sorry about that. This is circle P. Okay, so now it's telling me to identify 3 different radii. Okay, and remember, radii start at the center, or are from the center to the outside. So again, I can go either way. So I have AP is technically a radii. I could also name it PA. Okay, I could go A to P or PA. But that doesn't count as a different radii. Okay, so I have to look for another line. So if I look here, I have PB. Could also name it BP, like the gas station, right? Either direction. And then my last radii is down here, right? PC or CP. I got PC or CP. Okay, but it has to be 3 different lines. All right, my next one is identify a diameter. So a diameter has to go all the way across through the center, right? So again, there's only one in this picture. There's no other line that goes through the center and all the way across. So I'm going to name it a C. Again, you could also go CA, but we'll name it AC. And then my last part is to identify 2 chords. So chords, again, go through the circle, but do not pass through the center, or don't have to pass through the center. So I have one here. That's DC. I also have one here, which is BC. Again, you could do CD, right, or CD. You could flip those. But CB is not a different chord than BC. Same line. Okay. All right, go ahead, flip the page. next thing we're looking at is a central angle. So a central angle is an angle with endpoints on the circle, W, with endpoints on the circle, and vertex, and the vertex is just the middle of the angle, and vertex at the center. Okay. Another way to think about central angle is a central angle uses radii, or the plural of radius, right? So a central angle uses radii. And a central angle is named by 3 points. 3 points. Okay. So I have a radius here and a radius here. Those 2 radii make up a central angle. Okay, so anywhere you have 2 radii, you're going to have a central angle. So I'm going to name this angle. All right, I go A to O to B. We've looked a lot at angles, so we should be pretty good at these by now. Or, right, I can go the opposite way, B to O to A, right? I can always switch directions. Angle BOA. All right, the next thing we have is what we call an inscribed angle. An inscribed angle is an angle with endpoints on the circle and vertex on the circle. Okay, so it's really 3 points on the circle. Just like central angles use radii, inscribed angles use chords. Okay, so if you can find any 2 chords that meet at the same point, you're going to have an inscribed angle. So for example, this chord and this chord meet at angles or at point C. So this makes an inscribed angle. And same thing, it's named by 3 points. So for example here, right, we had A to C to B. Or I could flip it and go B to C to A, right? I cannot do C, A to B, right? There's no line between A and B. So be careful that while you can reverse it, you can't change the order. Okay. All right, so let's look at an example. Identify 2 central angles. Sorry about that. Okay, so then identify 2 central angles. So I'm going to look for where I have radii. Okay, I have a radius here, a radius here, and a radius here. Okay, so I'm going to do, right, A to P to B. That angle is a central angle. I also have here, right, so that's B to P to C. Then identify an inscribed angle. Well, I'm looking for chords. Okay. So I have a chord here and a chord here. Okay, so this is angle B, C, B. So again, central angles use radii, inscribed angles are made up of chords. Alright, our last section of vocab, like I said, I know this is getting long, there's a lot of vocabulary. The first thing we have is the circumference. The circumference is the distance around a circle. So if I started at a point and walked in a circle and wanted to know how far I walked, I would be finding the circumference. And the circumference is found by 2 pi times r. That is what our circumference formula is. And we'll be looking at that more later in the unit. Alright, then we have the semicircle. A semicircle is half the distance around a circle. Okay, so here, right, if I start here and go to here, right, I have half the distance around. Semicircles always, right, are with diameters, right? The diameter cuts your circle in half. Okay. And I name a semicircle by 2 points. So I could say I'm going from A to B, and I would put this little, kind of call it a rainbow, but it's an arc. We're going to look into what an arc is. Or I can go from B to A, right? I can flip my direction, A to B or B to A. All right, so then we have an arc. An arc is, a part of the circumference cut off by an angle. So we're going to talk about the two different types of arcs, but you can see, like, when I have an angle, it cuts the circle kind of into two separate pieces. Okay, so I could look at those as arcs. It's not the whole circumference around. So we have what we call a major arc. A major arc is an arc bigger, an arc bigger than a semicircle. So it's more than halfway around your circle. So for example, right, if I start at A and I go all the way here, right, that is more than halfway around my circle. And for a major arc, you have to name using 3 points. Why? If I just said I want to go from A to B, I would want to just take the shortest route. I would want to go this way, right? Around. Right? Around the shorter way. But that wouldn't make it a major arc. So, you have to tell whoever is reading your work that you want to go around the long way. So I want to go from A, then to C, then get to B. Okay, I want to get to B by way of C, is basically what you're telling me. Or I could name it, I want to start at B, go to C, and then go to A. Okay, so or B, C, A. If a major arc is more than 180, or more than a semicircle, then a minor arc is an arc that is smaller than a semicircle. Alright, so our minor arc is here. And a minor arc is only named by 2 points. Alright, so I would call this arc AB, a little arc mark, or, again, I can go backwards and call it BA. Okay? So those little rainbow marks go over all our arcs. Alright, last thing, looking at our example, identify a semicircle. Again, a semicircle has to be split by a, a semicircle has to be split by a diameter. So I have my diameter here. So the semicircle is a C. Identify 4 minor arcs. So basically any connections between any 2 points along the outside. I can do AB. I could do BC. Right? I could do CD. I could do 80, right? Any 2 points that are less than half a circle around. All right, C, identify 2 major arcs. All right, for major arcs, again, we need to be more than half the circle. I need to use 3 letters, 3 points. So, we can choose any letter to start at. Let's start at D. Okay, so I'm going to start at D. I'm going to go to A. Be the 3rd letter. If I go to B, I'm not more than halfway around my circle, so I have to keep going. I have to go to C. Now I'm more than halfway around. So D, A, C. Let's start at a different point. Let's start at B, okay, for my second one. I'll go around to C, and then I can go around, I can go to D, right? B to D is less than half, or is more than halfway. Okay, so B, C, D is another minor arc, or major arc. All right, that is it. Again, I apologize, but it's just a lot of vocabulary that we had to get through. Go ahead, work on B1.